My name is Kimmo Kuortti, and I currently work at a teacher education institution, which is part of the University of Applied Sciences, and we train teachers, and mainly for vocational training and universities of higher education. Well, sorry, we train teachers mainly for vocational institutions and universities of applied sciences. And we offer a pedagogical training, a pedagogical degree required by the Finnish law to teach in those institutions at that level. So it's upper secondary, vocational, and then universities of applied sciences. I work also on international projects, so we cooperate with at the moment especially Colombian and Mexican universities and institutions, and work together on teacher training programs. I've previously worked also in student recruitment and marketing. I'm not doing that at the moment, and I teach myself as well. So that's roughly what I'm doing at the moment.
Okay, so what's the kind of demographic of your students then? Are they mainly sort of early career stage teachers in higher education, or are they student teachers going through their undergraduate education degree, or where do you come in?
Yes, our cohort and our crowd is quite interesting. First of all, I might start by saying that the average age of the students who come to our program is 44 years.
Oh, wow.
So these are typically people who've had their bachelors, who've had their masters also, and have been in working life for quite a while already. Some of them for really 10 years or even more. We do have also students who have just finished their higher education. So the scene is such that when you work in whatever the field is, we have a lot of people who work, for instance, in, let's say, generally speaking, broadly speaking, engineering, nursing, why not? And at some point, they get the idea that they might be actually interested in teaching in those fields and getting a teacher's qualification. To be a qualified teacher, that means to be able to get a permanent teaching position. And that in that point, what they need to do is a 1 year of pedagogical training. So if they have a master's degree, it could be any field of engineering, it could be nursing, it all can also be languages, humanities, whatever. And what they need then is a 60 ECTS credit, 1 year teacher training course. And that is what we offer. So our crowd is really, I find it fascinating because they come from all walks of life and they have long careers behind them. Some are young university teachers or researchers who come to our course because of the flexibility and because the universities nowadays also have started to require people to have pedagogical training. It's a kind of a career move nowadays in the universities too. So it's not enough that you have your PhD or whatever, you also need to have your pedagogical studies. And then they come to us because we offer it also in a very flexible form, a lot of online options in our program and so on and so forth. So it's a great variety of people with PhDs, people with masters, people from being research at the university to someone whose work has been working at the, construction industry for 15 years. And all of these people we put together in one group and train them in pedagogics.
It sounds fascinating, and it actually throws up, because, the idea of today is to talk about the well-being aspect, which I suspect is going to be very, very different from last week's chat with the K-12 school, because you've got such a diverse group of people who are already, managing their own careers and their own lives. They've got families and things. So what I would like to ask you is, if you've got a kind of flexible delivery model, so you're talking about people online learning about something which is essentially social, pedagogy and teaching, How have you found it during this particular year? Have you found that you've had to make any adaptations to the way that you, for example, engage with them, bring them in a different way socially, online, check on them, just to deal with them in a different way? Has that happened this year?
Absolutely, that's a great point, and the way you formulated it was very good, because if we start from let's go back to last spring, after we had selected the cohort that started at the end of August. We had the student selection. After the student selection, obviously the virus broke out, and it became evident that the academic year will be very, very different. First thing, what had to be done, there was a lot more counseling with each and every individual student. That was the first thing. You absolutely had to address kinds of things that you normally don't even talk about. They're not an issue. The thing with us, of course, to bear in mind is that we were supposed to be really 90% online anyway. So the students who applied to this program were not expecting to come on campus anyway. This was a great advantage, one could say, in this situation. However, we do always, under normal circumstances, we start the course with 3 on-campus, face-to-face days here in Oulu. Well, we did that. We offered that in a hybrid form, because at that point of the epidemic, we were allowed still to bring people on campus in small groups. So we gave the option to the students. You can come if you want to, but you don't have to. Under normal circumstances, we say you have to, because of the group dynamics. We want to get the people together in the beginning and also in the middle of the course in January. Okay, so we gave that option, and we ran it. 10 people came, and about 15 people stayed online. So we run that hybridly. But before we got that far, so the questions in the spring, they were related to our face-to-face days. Do I have to come? Shall I come? Is it safe? How is it? So on and so forth. Luckily, we did not have to deal with that, with the problem or insecurity of, is the campus open? Is it not open? Which the regular programs had. They had to, deal with the insecurity. Well, we don't know if you're allowed. We're not sure yet. We don't know yet. And the information kept changing, as it still does, as we know. The situation evolves all the time. And every week you have a new regulation or a new partial lockdown or whatever. So luckily we did not have to deal with that. But still, so we had to answer certain questions that the students had about, how do we work? Do I need to come for the 3 days? What about in January? Do I need to come then? And so on and so forth. But what we noticed then early on when we started, that let's put it this way, the meeting online and those moments, because we meet almost weekly for 4 hours. And it is active online participation. People talk, people have to teach each other things, and they have quite a bit to do online. Those moments became particularly precious.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that we necessarily didn't as teachers see, but everybody in their own homes, in their own cities. We had people in Canada, Pakistan, all around Finland. Everybody in their own environments were also there, deprived of social contacts. People were in isolation. So when you had a chance to meet each other, even online, it became extremely important. And And we realized that what we have to take extra care of is to make our meetings even more interactive than before, that those people can really talk with each other, really interact with each other, and avoid this kind of lecturing online, which we didn't do at all. So it simply was nothing. We never did it like that. We had maybe one or two occasions last autumn. We had like presentations where someone was speaking to the whole group. Otherwise, it was group activity all the time. Doing things in breakout rooms, coming back together, having discussions, and so on and so forth. And every session, which we normally usually start by, straight going to the nitty-gritty, we would start with half an hour of what's up, how is it, what's going on. So that we changed that. We took half an hour off of our precious content and simply had a discussion of what's going on. So that became very important, that what you do online, when you meet each other online, you have to be as interactive as you can. That at least get that like I don't know, can't call it human touch. I guess people would say I'm exaggerating if I call it human touch when we're just online, but still,
no, I don't think so.
It is a distant touch.
Yeah.